What's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah, and I'm back again with another video. If you're new to this channel, hi, my name is Rivah. It's very nice to meet you. Before we get into this video, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. And as I always say, make sure you guys leave your comments in the comment section down below. It does not matter how you feel about this video. We all want to talk about it. Also, if you're not following me on Instagram, follow my Instagram. It's at RIVAH_JORDON. And I actually saw this video pop up. And shout out to the lead attorney. Listen, this video, just based on the title, I'm very, very intrigued on how this conversation is going to go. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right into the video. I'm actually going to move this over just a little bit. Okay, there we go. All right, perfect.
If the child is half of yours and half his, do you think that just automatically, because of these 9 months that you're talking about, that the mother should be given the child and the father should have visitation because of these special 9 months when your body carried the child? You think you should get an advantage because of these 9 months you kept mentioning?
Yes.
You don't have to answer that question.
I'll answer the question.
Say yes.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth.
Well, this one kind of hit home because, that's not far away from me. It was 45 minutes away from me where it happened. And I think, honestly, it is, I was thinking it was the law as well, because I remember when I went through my legal situation with my son's father and how hard it was, to go through it. We ended up going for, a year and a half, and we started when my son was only 3 weeks old. And it took that long for it to go through the whole cycle. The longer it plays out, the more it strains you. And I feel like some of it may be punishing you in a sense to you should be able to solve it and just come together and then file the paperwork saying oh, this is our agreement, more than letting the courts decide the agreement. I felt like I was being punished in the Montgomery County courts ultimately.
Why did you feel like you were being punished?
Well, I felt like I was being punished because they scrutinized everything about me. I had to bring my report card because I was fresh out of high school. I had to bring my report card to prove that I was a student. They won't the court ordered me to bring that to prove that I was a good person for my son. I had to
Wait. You had a child, and was this a divorce?
It wasn't even a divorce. We never lived together. We never
lived together. And
This is very interesting already, right? Off the rip. This is very interesting because as the mother, normally they don't have to go through such scrutiny, but it's actually where I kind of see it on the opposing side. I like the fact that the court system was okay, let me examine both parents to see the situation of both parents to see where the child should or should not reside 100% full time. I think that's actually a good thing because, they want to make sure that they're not just giving the child to someone just because, oh, I'm the mother and I need my child. They actually went through a whole procedure. I think that's extremely important, actually.
He was fighting for custody?
He was fighting for custody against me.
And you had to bring your report card?
I was ordered to bring my report card because I had graduated that June, and I was because I had given the background story of I've graduated from, I went through the whole school system, I'm a good person. Me and him just really want we want to have somebody help facilitate visitation, because we don't get along, and there's been physical domestic violence situations where he's brought people trying to attack me or show up at my house, different situations of that nature. So they were oh, we need proof that you actually went to the school. So I had to bring my diploma and my report card to prove that I was.
So them asking you to prove that you had graduated, you felt like that was an unfair level of scrutiny?
I felt, because I thought it was unfair level of scrutiny because it was some of the things that happened for me didn't apply to him. Some of the things that I had to provide proof, since I was the primary person who had the child, he didn't have to provide. You know, like he didn't have to go back to PG to go get his documents. He didn't have to prove where you lived, your routine, what was the schedule that you had. Like there was so much things that I had to figure out and do, and I felt like overall I was punished because
I wonder why though. I feel like there's more to that story. I wonder what's the reason why they asked you for all this information and not him, especially based on the fact that you said that, he brought people over there to fight you. Like, normally, they would want to be like, maybe we should look into this a little bit further on his side. But the fact that they're doing that on your side, that kind of makes it seem like there's a big chunk of the story that we're missing in this conversation.
Didn't want to settle it with the way they wanted me to with him, with me having every other week with my child, and my child's only 6 weeks old, 7 weeks old.
Okay, yeah. So you're saying that the courts wanted you to do like a every other week. So the courts wanted you to do 50-50.
Yeah,
you didn't want it. Okay, yes. But you didn't want to do 50-50. You wanted Okay. And you felt like because the courts wanted 50-50 and you didn't want 50-50, you wanted to live with your child, you felt like you were punished.
Yes, I do feel like I was punished overall because it felt like I had to fight harder to prove like in a sense like disprove what he says about me, but also to push that I'm the best person. And well, I think that's really hard.
Let me jump in for a second. Why should you not have to prove that you are the best person?
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I literally just said in the beginning of the video. Like, that's great that they want to scrutinize every single person. Not just because you're a woman or you're the mom means that you're automatically going to get full custody of your child. And again, there must be a reason why they wanted you to go through all this scrutiny and not him as well.
I assume that it's just your child. Half of your DNA is in this child, right?
Right.
Yes.
But half of his DNA is in this child.
Right.
Yes.
Half of your chromosomes, half of his chromosomes. Why should you not have to prove that you are the best parent if you want this child to live with you the majority of the time? Why shouldn't you prove that? Why is that not rational to say, hey, you need to prove this stuff?
Right.
I think it's so rational because for 9 months, I was the person that took care of the child. I was, I provided my body for this child.
When you say hold up now. When you say the 9 months, are you talking about the 9 month pregnancy when the child was inside of you?
Like I provided that, like, because I chose to have this child. I chose to take care of this child. I did not want
listening to this.
Sis, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Sis, that don't have nothing to do with anything, like, at all. That has literally nothing to do with anything. How would you even be pregnant if he didn't give you his seed? That child would not exist if it was not for him. Let's start there, first of all. But second of all, how many stories have we heard of people who are, pregnant with child and who are doing things that are harmful to their body and to the body of the child, the unborn child? That doesn't mean anything. That literally doesn't mean anything. Come on, what you gonna say, Lee?
I did not really want to be with this person anymore. I wanted my child and I wanted to move forward with my life. And the fact of the matter is that I took off work to take care of this child. Be it going to the doctor's appointments, all the necessary things. The child came out healthy, came out full term, all these things. I did all of the things I needed to do. The proof is in the pudding with the child. It isn't like I had a record of, you were a bad person, you had these type of records or anything like that. So I'm saying, like, sometimes it feels like you're always having to fight harder.
Let me tell you where she lost me, guys, because I know you guys know she lost me. Let me tell you where she lost me. She lost me at the point where she said she didn't want to be with him anymore. She just wanted to move on with her life with her child and basically just forget about this guy. That's the issue. That is the number one 100% issue. You had a baby with this person, you chose to have a child with this person. This is now that child's other parent. You were not able to make that decision like, oh, well, I just don't want you to be involved anymore. Psych, change my mind. That's you being selfish. That's you worrying about yourself, not worrying about the betterment of your child.
And then also, I think for me in this situation, I feel really bad for the guy because I could only imagine.
Wait.
What I do, like
You
so
feel
in that
bad?
mind state. No, literally. Can you let me finish? I just wanted to make.
But you're contradicting yourself, so I just want to make sure that everybody's following what you're talking about.
What?
Right? Because I want to hear what you have to say, but there are 4,000 people in here, so we need to kind of figure out what you're talking about.
Right.
Okay.
You're saying, if the child is half of yours and half his, do you think that just automatically, because of these 9 months that you're talking about, that the mother should be given the child and the father should have visitation because of these special 9 months when your body carried the child? You think you should get an advantage because of these 9 months you kept mentioning?
Yes, I do believe that there should be an advantage for that. I do. Because at the end of the day,
she's a part of the issue that we talk about, especially when it comes to childhood development, when we talk about the child support system, she's a part of the issue because she's one of those people that are saying like, yeah, we do need that advantage. Yeah, we do deserve that. Because if it wasn't for my body, that's a problem. Because just because you were the home, for this baby while this baby was in its state, that's just a process. Okay, that's the process. If it wasn't for him, he couldn't plant the seed. You foster and help the seed, develop and grow. But at the end of the day, when that child is born, that does not mean that you are going to be the fit parent just because you brought a baby to full term and had a baby. It does not mean that. There's a lot of people who even have children, mothers who have children, who have no connection to their child. They just don't care. There's babies that come out that seem pretty healthy, pretty healthy, but their mother was doing all types of stuff that could harm the baby. It just happened that the baby was just, strong enough to make it through. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. Because what she's saying, a lot of women can do these things. It does not mean that you're going to be a good mother when the child gets here. It does not mean that. What about that girl? What about that girl who had a baby and I think her baby went all the way to 3, 4, 5 years old. I don't even remember how old the baby was. She went on vacation with her friends, left the baby in the hotel room for who knows how long. Unfortunately, the baby didn't make it. But the baby was with her.
To be a part of those moments, you could have came to those doctor appointments just as much as I did. Mm-hmm. You could have been a part of those things. So I just feel like you can't give me my credit for what I do, when the other person is absent during those time periods. And then when the child's born wants to jump back in and try and get involved. No, that's not right. It's not fair every day.
Yeah. What ended up happening with your case? Did he end up getting 50-50 or did he end up getting so you ended up winning, right?
Yeah, I ended up winning.
So you ended up winning by showing your damn report card in your
It was more things than that.
That
was the first instance, but
let me just back up here. Why do you think it is that because mothers' bodies naturally carry children for 9 months, why do you think that because of mothers carrying these children for 9 months, they should automatically be given custody and fathers should automatically be given visitation?
Well, I like I said before, it's about the involvement. If you want to,
you said it was about the 9 months.
It's the 9 months, but I did say that if you wanted to be involved, he could have went to these appointments. He could have been involved in these.
But she's the type to say if you wanted to be involved, he could have went to these appointments, but she didn't tell him her doctor's name. She didn't tell him when the appointment was. She didn't tell him that he was allowed to be there because get away from me because I don't want to be with you. I just want to raise my child by myself. So,
and also the proof is in the pudding. Like if like I'm a bad person, I don't go to my, if I'm a bad mother, you're not going to go to your doctor's appointments when you're supposed to. You're not going to seek prenatal care. You're not, and then also the child may come out with other may come out with disabilities that are preventable. So, or issues if you're a an abusive situations, drugs, all those things come out in the child. So if you're able, I feel like if you're able to produce a healthy child, you were able to follow suit and have a record proving that, hey, every, because there's a chart that you follow. Hey, every 4 weeks, every 3 weeks, every 2 weeks, every week, you're here at the doctor's office doing what you're supposed to do, eating what you're supposed to eat, like, putting everything.
let me tell you why I don't agree with what she's saying. Let me tell you why I don't agree with that. Because you can do all those things and it all sounds great and fine when you're pregnant. But when that baby comes, sometimes when people change. Sometimes people can't handle the burden of it. Sometimes there's people who look at their baby and see a burden instead of a baby. And that caring, nurturing spirit that you say that you have, that that baby looks like their daddy. Sometimes that adds, flame to the fire. So it's not a one size fit all situation. We can't just use that across the board and say that that makes a lot of sense because it does not. Every situation is completely different. 100%.
Right for your child, taking these special tests because you have to pay for those, all these different exams and everything out of pocket, and plus having insurance, and plus providing for yourself. I think that shows that you have stability overall. It's not because if you're able, if someone wants to be a part of it, they'll make a way to be a part of it.
They'll make a way.
If they don't,
they'll make a way. So even if I don't tell him where the doctor's appointment is, he could look it up and he could find out. He could call somebody. He could find out. Because if he wanted to be at the doctor's appointment, he'll be there because he don't seem like he want to be involved. Even though I didn't tell him, when the doctor's appointment was, but he don't seem like he want to be involved. Okay.
Then again, for him, he didn't show up for those appointments when those were provided to him at that point. And then to show up at the end and be like, oh, I want 50-50. Where were you during that entire time?
Who's beeping is that? Is that you beeping? There's somebody beeping. All right. How old were you when you had this child?
I was 18.
All right. So you were 18, right? So you mentioned about providing for yourself and doing all this. Were you providing for yourself, or did you have insurance? Like, who was paying all of these bills for you at 18?
I was working at a real estate, a big warehouse shop from the time I was 16, and I had worked my way up to a supervisor. So I was making a nice amount of money. I had a nice place that I rented a basement. So I had enough, things going for me in that right direction. And I was also enrolled in school. So I feel like I was doing the right things. I was moving myself forward. I had a trajectory of where I was pursuing, and still pursuing.
So you were upset that he would not attend these prenatal visits with you, but then once the baby was born healthy, he wanted 50-50 custody. But you felt like that was unfair because he did not go to the prenatal visits with you.
I feel it's unfair. I feel it's unfair.
So let's just kind of push this out to other people now, because if you feel it's unfair to you, it would be unfair to everybody else. Should there be a rule that fathers who do not go to the prenatal visits do not get 50-50 custody?
Yes, because if you're saying that, especially with times now, which is life starts at conception, they should be a part of that life. They should be a part of those steps. They should be held responsible for all.
The baby is cooking, right? That's what I like to say. I like to say, when they say the bun in the oven, the baby's cooking, right? The baby's cooking inside of a person. This person has a rift with this person, the father. This person that's cooking the baby has a rift with this person that's the father. This person is able to not tell the father when the doctor's appointment was, send him letters in the mail way after the doctor's appointment to say, oh, well, he did know when the doctor's appointment was because I told him. How did you tell him? I sent him a letter in the mail. They can literally set up that situation to make it seem as though the father did not want to go, the father does not want to be involved for no reason at all. There's married people that the father doesn't go to all the visits. Because if she was married to him and he wasn't going to the visits, would she care? No. Would she hold that against him? No. Would that be any point to bring up in this argument? Absolutely not.
Those things as well. Not just not just at the end when the child comes out and now you're like, oh, well, I'm going to take 50-50. No, I've put in work on this. I've taken sick leave for this. I've taken all these different things. So I don't.
Let me ask you: do you think a child needs a father?
Yes, I do believe a child needs a father.
Does a child benefit from having the father in the child's life?
A child does benefit from having a father figure in their life.
Because what I just hear you say is me. I did this and I did that and I did this and I did that. I'm hearing that you're not talking about the goddamn child. What does your child need?
Yep.
You keep talking about what you did. But what about your child? Why are you putting you above your child? That's what I can't understand.
Mm-hmm.
You say that your child needs the father. But then because he didn't but because he didn't show up to the visits, now your child doesn't get those same benefits. Your child gets less time, less valuable time with the father because he didn't show up to your visits.
Selfish.
But the child is missing out.
Mm-hmm. I don't feel that the child missed out overall. The child is.
You just said that a child benefits from time with the father.
I didn't say a father. I said a father figure. And the father figure.
Oh my God.
I did say a father figure.
Jesus Christ, are you guys listening to this bullshit? So like an uncle. An uncle could be a father figure, right?
Yep. He had his uncles. He had my father.
Oh my gosh. Even worse, she said he. Even worse, she said he, her son. You didn't want to be with your son's father anymore. So you feel like there's no need for him to be in your life, in your son's life, because you want to be done with that phase in your life. Every time you look at this man, you're just like, oh my gosh, I just don't want to deal with him at all. So you decide that I'm going to take my child away and then his uncles can be there for him. And listen, I'm not saying that children who grow up without a father at all or with, their original birth father don't make it to be anything. I'm not saying that at all either. I'm not saying that. There's situations where, a child does grow up without the influence of their biological father, and they do have father figures in their life that are there to assist them and teach them certain things. That is very, very true. However, you're purposefully making the choice to cut off a side of your child's identity just because you don't feel like you want him to be around. That's literal insanity.
Move forward in his life. Like, it's not, I don't think that every person is the right father figure.
Then why are you sleeping with these men? Why are you creating children with these men if they're not the father figures?
Right.
Well,
why don't you just sleep with your uncle? I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Ooh.
So I went ahead. I did not know that person was going to be like that when that happened. And then...
That means you didn't know him enough. That means you didn't know him enough. And also you were too young. But you made a decision. You had the child. You had the child with this person. That's their daddy. Oh, well. Oh, well. the people around you should have been cultivating the situation and saying to you, okay, well, you don't like to, he annoy you, whatever. Okay, well, bring him to my house and he can come over to my house and come see the baby or whatever, because that's still his child. But it's no, because all of the people around you, obviously, and you, oh, I don't need no, I could do it all bad by myself. I had this baby for myself. Who cares? Not thinking about how that's going to affect your child as he grows.
As things went
You
on. Okay.
didn't know he wasn't going to show up to the visits? Is
No,
that what you're talking about?
I did not know it was.
Let me get this straight. You slept with this dude and didn't know he was going to show up for the visits. And now that he doesn't show up for the visits, now your child doesn't need him. Now your child just needs a father figure. Your father, for example, or the uncle, for example.
Yep. And we've moved on perfectly. We've moved on. Now I'm happily married. Okay. He has a beautiful step.
I think I'm going to move on. All right. Let's pull up somebody else. I can't deal with this situation. Mm-mm. Shout out to her, but
shout out to her.
Not on this channel. Not on this channel. And you can unsubscribe if you want. I don't give a shit. You don't have to.
Listen, Lead, I feel you, because there's so many things wrong with her statement. And again, I can understand if this person is literally detrimental to the health of you and to your child. This person was going to court to fight for joint custody of his son. Obviously, he can't be that bad of a person if he wants to be involved in his child's life. But because you feel like women are superior, I'm the one who gave birth, so nobody can't tell me nothing. All women deserve to be the full people that have control of their child's life. That's not 100% true all of the time. That's not true all the time. And I think it's horrible when people make decisions and they feel like, well, I was doing this for you. You don't even know how that's affecting your child or how it's going to affect them in the future. That's his DNA. That's his bloodline that you want to cut off and just replace with somebody else. Just because you felt like it, not even because there's any reason. That's crazy to me. I obviously want to know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. So please leave your comments in the comment section. Also, again, if you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up. And again, if you're not following me on Instagram, follow my Instagram. It's at RIVAH_JORDON. Guys, I love you guys so much, but this is crazy. This is the stuff that we're literally always constantly talking about. This mindset, this selfish mindset. You care so much about yourself, and how much do you really care about your child? Because if it was really about your child and not about you, you would care about that relationship. Let his father prove to him who he is, not you. Let him have a relationship with his father and see how his father is, not you. Thank you, guys. Love you.